This is a classic negotiation between a kidnapper and a rich man.
The kidnapper was ready to rob 1 million, but the rich man just laughed
and said mockingly, "What can $1 million do? Can you afford to buy a house with $1 million?" The kidnapper then said, "Then I want 10 million."
Then the rich man laughed out loud again.
"Do you know how much $10 million weighs? Can you take it with you?"
And suddenly withdrawing so much cash from the bank, the police will definitely be watching.
The kidnapper was instantly dumbfounded by the question.
He didn't know how much he should rob, so the rich man came up with a constructive idea.
"I'll give you a tanker full of 95 gasoline.
Plus the tanker is worth a total of 100 million.
Now the price of oil is so high, you can make a lot of money in less than 6 months." The kidnapper felt he had a point.
The rich man also said, "It will take some time for a tanker truck to arrive.
It may take tomorrow night at the earliest to deliver to the door."
So, the three men entered the room together.
The long wait began. In fact, the kidnapper is not really a kidnapper.
His family was poor and he often stole things to make ends meet. And when he was stealing from the rich man's house, suddenly, the rich man's wife came back and found him.
He was forced to become a kidnapper after he had no way out.
The rich man's wife also comes from a poor background. Once she was also the rich man's assistant,
but she was bought by the rich man with a lot of money.
Although her life has changed drastically, but at the same time, his freedom was also restricted,
and he had to submit his homework every night.
Faced with the sudden appearance of the kidnapper, of course, the rich man is not a fool. Of course his life is more important than Mary's.
As long as he was not harmed, he would cooperate fully in the robbery. By the end of the night, Rich whispered to his wife.
He thought that after the robbers got the money,
wouldn't let them off easily. They would definitely kill them to silence them.
Then there will be no money and no life. So he put forward another constructive idea.
The woman's husband arranged for her to sleep in the same room with the kidnappers.
So he asked his wife to steal the kidnapper's pistol so that they could take the initiative. The rich man asked his wife to use the beauty trick,
but the kidnapper didn't eat it because he only had money on his mind. He had no interest in the woman in front of him. The next day, there was a visitor to the villa.
This man was the farmer who helped the rich man to take care of the orchard. Not only did the farmer not see the rich man's eyes, he couldn't wait to show off his achievements to the rich man. Not only did he grow tomatoes as big as watermelons and sweeter than the existing grapes, then he took out a design drawing.
His next step was to plant watermelons on trees and even expand it to Africa. The preliminary design of the drawing is ready. Now all that was needed was for the rich man to sign off on it. So in the face of such a simple design,
but the rich man did not hesitate to sign the letter. The kidnapper was worried that there was a secret between them. He hurriedly asked Rich to return to the house immediately.
While inside the house, the robber also watched every move of the farmer outside.
The farmer first opened the drawing with great enthusiasm. Then his expression suddenly became serious.
The kidnappers inside the house also noticed the farmer's peculiarities. The farmer obviously saw something he should not see.
So the kidnapper rushed out and called the farmer.
He brought the farmer into the house with him.
It turned out that the rich man had not signed his name on the paper.
Instead, it was a distress call to 911. This made the kidnapper even more furious.
He said the rich man was unethical. The rich man was even more furious after hearing this. He called the kidnapper a loser. The kidnapper had nothing to do but to do bad things.
The kidnapper was dumbfounded by his scolding. The angry kidnapper's hand shook and accidentally pulled the trigger. Fortunately, the bullet only missed a little.
But this shot scared the farmer's guts.
The farmer heard the gunshot and ran away.
The result was a slip of the foot,
head directly into the glass. The three people in the room were suddenly confused. As a result, the farmer was the first to lose his life. The kidnappers, who didn't want to make a big deal out of it.
He did not expect the situation to develop into such a situation. Now he had to make the mistake. The kidnappers first tied up the legs of both the rich man and the woman. Then they slowly pulled the curtains of the living room. The rich man saw such a big scene. The rich man couldn't help but pee his pants.
The kidnappers, who originally only wanted to rob money. I didn't expect that people would be killed now.
Looking at the unstable kidnapper, the woman began to do thought work on him. This woman was reasoning with the kidnapper. She said that the maximum sentence for accidental injury is less than 7 years in prison, while intentional murder is a death sentence.
So there is a fundamental difference between the two. I hope he won't make the same mistake again and again. The kidnapper seemed to understand the reasoning.
His emotions slowly began to calm down. The assistant finally drove the tanker to the door at night, but the kidnapper did not intend to go out.
So he untied the rope under the woman's feet. Let the woman bring the car keys in. The woman went out on the the road alone. It turned out that since her marriage to the rich man, she was not happy with her married life. She had her own business before, but the rich man only wanted her to have children. He also made the woman quit her job to be a full-time wife at home. The woman is fed up with this life. If she takes one more step forward, she could leave the rich man and be free again. But this freedom is not permanent, so she had a plan in mind. She brought back the car keys as the kidnapper had requested. She quietly hid a piece of glass under her feet. When the kidnapper was ready to leave, the woman took out the glass at her feet and cut the rope. When the kidnapper wasn't looking, the woman took the $1 million porcelain and walked out. She hit the kidnapper hard on the head. Then she also forgot to smash a few more times. At this point, the rich man was excited and exclaimed, "His wife is really great. She actually killed the kidnapper." He also asked his wife to come over and help him untie him, but his wife picked up the kidnapper's pistol. Then she walked up to the rich man with no expression on her face. This was her plan: kill the kidnapper first, and then kill the rich man. Finally, she blamed the kidnappers. Not only did she regain her freedom, she also inherited all the wealthy man's property. This story tells us to find a beautiful wife. You don't need to be together all the time. Maybe she doesn't like the life you give her. She may even want to destroy you.